Hey guys, it's Mana here, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer with Ulyana's ending. I'm not looking forward to doing Ulyana's ending, as I'm sure some of you know. There's a disclaimer at the beginning of this game saying that all the characters are 18 years of age. However, Ulyana clearly isn't, and it's stated time and time again that she is a child. So I'm not looking forward to this ending. I really don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it because that's the only way to get the Fox ending and Miku's ending. And those are the two most important ones to me, so I'm just going to suffer through it and do it, I guess. Why are you not dancing? I don't really want to. Your choice. She smiled cunningly. Then I have the perfect task for you. A task which is... any other activity seem better than dancing. You cleaned the canteen well today, but I think you haven't fully atoned yet. Ulyana! What? Come here. Ulyana came over to us reluctantly. I see you've had enough dancing for a long time to come. No, I haven't. She was sweating like a pig, so it seemed that the leader was right. I have a task for you and Simon. But Olga Dmitrievna, Ulyana begged. It's dance time now, and it's late. It won't take much time. Slavia was sorting the books in the library, but hasn't finished. You have only a couple of shelves to do. But, no buts. For God's sake. I don't like public work, but dancing? I'm ready. Good job, Simon. That's my boy. A real pioneer. You should follow his example, Ulyana. Ulyana didn't appreciate such an example, though. So go do it. The whole camp is relying on you. I'll remember this, she hissed. Having examined the whole library, I didn't find anything to clean. The leader must have made a mistake. Suddenly I heard footsteps from behind. The old cracked floor was squeaking, so Ulyana wasn't able to sneak up on me unnoticed. Boom! I turned around. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Please. Oh, whatever. She turned away resentfully. It looks really clean in here, so... let's tell scary stories to each other. We have 2 chairs and 2 candles, so there should be 2 stories. One mine and one yours. Okay. I agreed without thinking. I hadn't the slightest intention of going back to the dance, and by my experience, there was nothing to do in the camp at night. Especially as I knew a couple of nice stories which would be able to really scare Ulyana. And that was awesome. You first. Okay. She made herself comfortable, embraced the chairs back with her arms, and moved the candle as close to her face as possible. Once upon a time, in a village far away, lived a boy. Just a normal boy. He went to school, played with other children. There was nothing special about him. One day, he made a bet with his friend that he wasn't scared to go to the abandoned house. Ulyana left a long pause. So what was in that house? Don't interrupt me. Inventing on the fly. She pouted her lips and continued. They say a witch had lived in the house, and people still see her ghost there at night. Nobody knew for sure, but everyone was scared. The boy had said that it was all nonsense, and he was ready to spend a whole night in there. So he did, but he didn't return in the morning. He was found hanged. Ulyana stopped talking again. Thrilling. Did he hang himself with his shoelaces? I said skeptically. She frowned again. Is that the end? Of course not. They buried the boy, the way it was supposed to be, the coffin and stuff. His relatives and friends grieved, but they couldn't bring him back. After a few days, people started to disappear in the village. Nobody knew how or why. They just vanished into thin air. The villagers wanted to call the police, but a friend of that boy who hanged himself in the witch's house told them that he'd seen the boy. Nobody believed him at first, but people kept on disappearing. Then the villagers decided to dig up the coffin. There were long nail scratches on the inside of the lid, but there was nobody. No body. Where did he go? Ulyana moved the candle away from her face and made a Ulyana moved the candle away from her and made a scary face, or at least what she thought was scary. In the end, all of the villagers disappeared, and occasional passers-by near the witch's house tell that they saw 2 ghosts. Ulyana blew out her candle and stopped talking. It looked like her story was finished. Wonderful, I applauded. Not quite Pulitzer Prize worthy, but... Are you scared? Frightened? Oh, I'm just shivering all over. Oh, whatever. Tell your story, then. I'm sure I won't even flinch. I collected my thoughts and decided to tell a story I had read on the blog of an acquaintance of mine a few months back. He was quite a good storyteller. At least I liked his style, so success was guaranteed. I certainly didn't remember the story word for word, so I told it with my own words. There's a faraway space station, the last boundary of humanity, located on the border with a hostile civilization, the third month of the ceasefire. It can't be really called a ceasefire, more like a not a war. A small group of survivors is exhausted by a long siege. On one hand, they can't retreat, leaving the outpost. On the other hand, they understand that they won't last even a minute if the enemy attacks. At the beginning of the fourth month, the commander decides to retreat. He reasons that the lives of his soldiers are more important than the mythical ideals of humanity. No one will judge him for this. Moreover, they can't change anything. Preparations don't take much time. The greatest asset you can save from a sinking ship is your life. The whole station crew board the rescue vessel. The launch sequence starts. 3, 2, 1, and nothing. The bay doors don't open. They send mechanics to check the malfunctions, but they don't find anything. The door should open, but they don't open the second time, or the third. The commander orders his crew to leave the station in rescue pods, but they can't launch either. They explain it as technical malfunctions. The crew tries to communicate with headquarters in vain. After a few days, the executive officer notices that there is nothing on the radars, nothing at all. No planets, no asteroids, no enemy ships, just an endless darkness. They run out of food in a month. Everybody thinks that this is the end, but no one dies. Not after a day, a week, not even after a month. As if there is no need for food to sustain human life. At this moment, the majority of the crew goes insane. Some of them just stay in their rooms and pray, some wander around the station, some try to commit suicide. But neither point-blank shots with a plasma gun, nor hydro tank diving, nor even simply slitting the veins brings any results. Days pass by, months, or maybe even years. Nobody keeps track of time. Insane people recover their minds again, and normal people go insane. It repeats many times. In the end, the crew accepts its condition. They start to take up occupations, theatrical staging, sports tournaments, reading of self-written books. A lot of family couples appear and many more break up. It is an infinite flow of time, an enclosed loop of human life, and only the darkness on the radar reminds them of the emptiness outside. But there's an emptiness inside the station too. In the end, people stop living. They just lie in their rooms and sleep. Not 24/7 at first, but as the time goes by, they learn to fall into a trance. Every person has his own dreams. One returns to his childhood. One gets his lost love back. One defends the ideals of humanity with a blaster in his hands. Some others just wander in space. Shabby from skirmishes with the enemy, a rescue vessel docks with the station. The boarding squad gets inside. The whole station looks like a piece of scrap metal which has floated in space for thousands of years. The reactor has shut down a long time ago. There were marks of the laser shots on the wall. The equipment was all smashed. They found decayed skeletons of people who died horribly defending the frontier of humanity in almost every room. And only one cryptic message sent to the headquarters implied that something was wrong. Save us. We just want to die. I blew out the light. Ulyana shrieked, rose up, and threw herself towards me. We fell on the floor. Here, watch. Ulyana even started fidgeting impatiently. I'm watching. A few minutes later, I realized the tape contained a famous film from the 80s. It was about a robot from the future sent to kill someone in the past. So in years between here, would it be born? Oh god, what's the name of the movie? I can't remember. Terminator! It's fucking Terminator! Interesting coincidence. You could say I was sent from the future too. I looked at my phone and realized that it is exactly a year after I returned from the Savianuk pioneer camp. My soul felt warmer from such thoughts, and I smiled blissfully. It's not often anymore that I recall those events. Obviously, one can't just forget something like that, those moments of something bizarre and extraordinary that are engraved in my memory forever. Normally, even the happiest moments fade, and just reminiscence of them remain, nothing more. But the week spent in Savinuk was different. I remembered everything in perfect detail. The terror of the first minutes after waking up in the bus, the first day, hard, full of surprises and amazing acquaintances, cheerful and carefree pranks with Ulyana, and just take the trick of the ghost, for instance. The best Savinuk comedians would envy it. And the pioneers had such expressions. They were dying laughing. It sure would be nice to meet Ulyana in real life. Well, she is not always perfect. She's hyperactive and she doesn't have any idea about good manners, but one doesn't meet such a sincere, carelessly cheerful, and energetic person very often. Maybe she gave some of that energy to me. The bell rang. My classmate stood up, said his goodbyes, and left. I started packing my exercise books and textbooks into my backpack when suddenly I heard someone's voice in front of me. "Excuse me, is this the 34th lecture hall?" "There's a sign on the door." "No, there's not." The girl's voice sounded offended. "Someone must have removed it." "So, is it the 34th? "Yeah." At last I closed my backpack and raised my head, intending to stand up. The girl looked terribly familiar. "Have we?" "Yes, I thought the same." She looked very surprised. "But I don't remember where I could have met you." "Neither do I." "What year are you in?" "First year." "Oh, still pretty much green." The girl smiled. "Everything is still ahead of me. As if I'm already past everything." "And what about you?" "Fourth." "So was it difficult to study?" "For the first year it is." "I knew it," she said in an upset manner. "But it gets easier with time. It's always easier when you get used to it. Sometimes I'm too lazy to do things." "Yeah, that also happens." "Do you still have any stuff from the first year?" "If you share it, it'll be easier for me to prepare for examinations." Obviously, I had nothing. My first year was finished a long time ago. But I suddenly felt a strong desire to ask for her phone number, so I lied. "Maybe, but I'll have to check." "That's great." We exchanged our telephone numbers. "My name is Simon. What should I call you?" "Ulyana." And then I realized who this girl reminded me of. Exactly. She's Ulyana, just around 5 years older. For a moment, I was lost for words. "What? It's an ordinary name." That was Lenin's name," she said, pouting. "No, just... Have you ever been to a pioneer camp?" "When I was a kid. Why are you asking?" In the blink of an eye, all the events that happened in Savinuk flashed in front of my eyes. So it wasn't a dream. Although they were just summer camps, not pioneer ones. Ulyana added. "So you weren't wearing a uniform?" "The one with a red handkerchief? Neckerchief? Of course not. Fashion police alert." She laughed loudly. "But why are you asking?" I was about to tell her everything, but then I realized that she will just consider me a psycho. After all, this girl is much older than the Ulyana I remembered. Maybe she just looks like her. "I had a dream, and I think I saw you there. Kind of deja vu." "Deja what?" "It's when one sees something for the first time, but believes that he has seen it before." "Well, now that you mention it." Her face became serious. "I think I've seen you somewhere as well. Definitely. Maybe it's that thing you just said. It's an interesting coincidence, don't you think?" "I don't know. Anyway, I'll give you a call. See ya." She left and ran out of the room. Appearance, behavior, way of talking, she's definitely the exact Ulyana. So does that mean the dream is coming true? I can't help but enjoy it. And above all, I'll see this forever cheerful girl again, for sure. Achievement unlocked. Attack on Pedo Bear. I hate you. So much. Because this entire time I've been pissed off about it and they were waiting to make a fucking joke out of it. fuck you. That's how I feel about this ending. Because the entire time, I have not wanted to do this because they're sitting here telling me they're all 18, and I know that character isn't, and then it gives me an achievement called Pedo Bear. Fuck you. That's how I feel about this. Oh my god. I am so glad to be done with this fucking one. Ugh. I'm logging off now, guys. I don't even want to process this freaking game right now. So, do something nice for a stranger today. You may just save a life. I'm gonna go get some food and take a nap and just be done with this. I'll see you guys later. Bye.